world is changing, guys and girls. And what I mean by that is that the traditional methodology for finding careers and jobs, and, is changing very rapidly. We used to look at computer science degrees. We used to look at, people that have PhDs and doctorates, and that stuff has its place. But for the typical industry in the tech sector specifically, those rules are out the door. It's about brilliant minds. It's about applying yourself, because things are changing so fast. I'm sure you guys know this, right? With all the stuff it's 10 times more advanced than medicine, because medicine used to be you have to consistently educate yourself and keep up with the trends. So technology is moving 10, sometimes 20 times faster than any other traditional methodology. So that means that there's abundance of opportunities. As a business owner, I used to think, well, what can I do next? Because I've had 6 startups in my in my 25 years being in business, and I've mentored over 100 other companies. So I used to think, well, what could be the next greatest thing? Well, I'll tell you, my staff, between the 3 companies that I run right now, they come to me all the time. It's almost like I have to put the brakes on everybody and say, look guys, we cannot do everything here. We have to pick and choose. There's lots of ideas out there, and everything is changing so fast and so rapidly that, it's like the old Wild Wild West, digging for gold when it comes to tech. So, a little bit of background on myself. So I finished 1992 college. That was my first year right out of college. Believe it or not, I was going to be a doctor. I was in pre-med at University of Calgary, and got into biological sciences as a pre-med. But by 3rd, 4th year, I realized, taking courses like biochemistry, biogenetics, I said, I'm smart, but I'm not that smart. And I'm never going to get straight A's. And so the dream was kind of diminishing. But fortunately and unfortunately, I had to finish my degree because I was in 4th year college. So I finished. Came out, long story short, got kicked around pretty good. No jobs for a guy who's got a biology degree. What are you going to do, right? So came up with the idea within 6 months to build a small company called Can Global Consulting in Calgary, and tendered my services out. Now, think about it. What is the one fundamental thing that school teaches us? Can anybody take a guess? Exercising your mind, right? The ability to exercise your mind. It's like when you go to the gym, you learn balance, you learn technique. Well, same thing with school. And that the key thing there is that can be applied to anything. So same with going to school. It teaches us how to exercise our mind, how to do research, how to apply that research. Those are the fundamentals, and that's exactly what I did. I started a small company helping businesses, foreign investors coming into Canada, had no idea how to start a business. And it's just a matter of going to City Hall and doing your research and becoming well-versed, and then communicating that to the Koreans or the Chinese investors that were looking to come to Canada. And majority of them came and were very wealthy and very well educated, but they didn't have a clue. So that was my first business. So getting into tech was totally by fluke. So I did get into tech, and I don't want to dwell on the whole long story, but it was an exciting start to a journey that took me to the Bay Area in San Francisco, and I was there for almost 10 years, and I learned a lot in corporate America, and learned not just the corporate side of it, but the technology side of it and the business side of it. So Came back to Canada for personal reason in 2006. I got a job in Vancouver, commuting, a brutal commute for almost 4.5 years. And I said, this is this is for the birds. I had the entrepreneurial spirit, and I said, I cannot work for companies. I have to build something. And I was living in Abbotsford, so looked around and said, well, how do we do this, right? So we built a company. It's called iOpen Technologies, which is the parent company for a few other subsidiaries. And we took advantage of the positioning of Abbotsford and the location, the quality of life, having an airport here. All those elements come into play. The long story short, we now have a company that has 3 offices. We have 40 some odd people, and it's a thriving business. At the same time, I founded XLRator, which used to be SRC Tech, or the Sumas Regional Consortium of Tech. So the idea is that we knew that tech was going to be very, very big in British Columbia. In fact, right now it's the biggest economy, and it's the biggest revenue generator for the province of British Columbia. Probably put together all the other industries together, including agriculture, forestry, mining. Well, tech produces more jobs and more GDP than all of those put together. So we sort of had a vision that that's going to happen. And at the same time, as that's happening, the other side of the vision was that the cost of living in Vancouver and the cost of doing business in Vancouver is going to be no longer feasible. So we had that vision. And that's how XLRator was founded, because we felt that if all innovation is going to happen downtown Vancouver, we thought that the province was going to be in serious trouble. We needed to have the valley be the center of focus. So what we did is founded XLRator, committed to helping other tech startups. Over the course of a little less than 6 years, we have supported over 60 tech startups in the Fraser Valley. So I encourage you to go and look at XLRator, especially if you're thinking about a career in technology, and have a look at what we do and the services we provide. Tech is very clean and non-invasive on the environment. It's a digital, knowledge-based economy. So that's very, very important. And to be honest with you, I'm personally committed to it, not just because I'm a tech entrepreneur, but because I also believe in that. Everything that we do in our company is for the betterment of the planet. So the landscape has changed. And what that means is that this presents a lot of opportunity for you folks. We had a fella here, I think John remember, I think his name was Simran.
Simranjeet, yeah.
Simranjeet.
Simranjeet. I've got Angad lined up to come and work with Jonathan.
Oh, is that right?
Same
We're taking, yeah, we probably have a room for a couple more this summer.
Okay.
So let him know. But yeah, so the kid was amazing. Like, seriously. I mean, I usually don't hear about the employees, what they're doing, or how they're making out, but the buzz was, oh my God, what happened to him?
He's here. He's a great help. Yeah.
So that was exciting. I mean, this kid was learning so quickly and so fast. In fact, in some cases, he was actually teaching our guys, some things. So it's pretty cool. I'd love to see some of you folks get into our organization. And we have a plethora of all other startups that, as Raymond said, we can make connections with. But my job today is to get you excited for a career in technology. So I want you to John's ready.
I just have a question. Because when you asked the question about how many want futures or careers are in technology, I don't think they're going to be able to avoid it, are they? Even the ones who want to do a career in medical, or want to work in dentistry, or want to be a lawyer, or to be an accountant, it's going to be impossible to avoid the tech sector, which is going to be part of the career.
So what John is explaining right now, so think about it. There's the high-tech side. So what high-tech means, latest, greatest, AI, machine learning, change detection, that's high-tech, right? What he's describing is applied tech. Everything that, any of the industry do. In fact, in our case, in the Valley, we're very focused on agriculture technologies and manufacturing technologies. So it's the applied side of it. And they go hand in hand. It's still tech, but one is applied, the other one is more high tech. So it's a cool time. It really is. You know, I wish I could turn the clock back 20 years and I could probably do a lot more other things, but you know, I think I'm pretty well done. I've been, you know, on a marathon, so I can take some time off. So, what is required to be a good entrepreneur, or for that matter, a good manager, or have a solid career? Well, in my opinion, I always, when I do motivational presentations, I say CPP, and the crowd looks at me like, what does that mean? Canadian Pension Plan? No. It means C for communication, P for process, and P for progress, continuous progress. That's my mantra, and everybody that works for me and works with me knows that I believe in solid communication, follow process. And you know why McDonald's is one of the biggest corporations? Because they've created a solid process that is replicated over and over and over again. And create new ideas, create new plans, and new strategies. So creativity is very important. And why do I bring that up? Because I think it's very, very important that you folks start thinking about those elements. If you want to be successful, you want to have a successful career, or you want to have a technology company, you have to think about those elements. Those are very, very key. But don't forget my fundamental belief and very key aspect of my life, and that is health. So the other thing that people often ask me, so what are my top priorities? And I go, health first, my son is second, and making money is third, or financial. And they say, why is your son second? Well, think about it, folks. If you're not healthy, you cannot take care of your family, and you certainly cannot work the way I work. So health is very important. I was an intercollegiate athlete. I wrestled for the University of Calgary, and I was an amateur boxer till the age of 19. Car accident that took care of that. So, you know, but that has always stayed with me. To be in the gym 6 days a week, make sure that you're healthy, because you cannot, I'm telling you, you cannot be successful in a business and work long hours if you don't eat properly and you don't stay in shape. So that's very, very key, and that's a very key message that I want to relate to you folks. And I want to, you know, I'm looking forward to you know, my staff asked me, well, you know, we got to go into these schools and talk, and I was going, okay, well, I'm kind of busy, but now, you know, when I see all of you guys here, it really inspires me, and I want to do more and more of this, because it's very, very important that we teach you folks, you know, what it takes to be, you know, a successful entrepreneur, successful, you know, business person, or for that matter, just be successful in life in general. It doesn't have to be about business, right? We're all wearing pink. There's a reason for it today, because we want to make a difference, right? So those elements are very, very key. We have a very strong requirement in the Fraser Valley for technical skilled workers, folks. And part of the reason why we're here is because we want to create a solid technical skilled workforce in the Fraser Valley. Think about it. We can attract all sorts of Googles and you know, Shopifys of the world to our province and have them establish big campuses. But if we don't have the people to furnish those jobs, it's useless. So I really encourage you folks to get involved and consider a career in technology, because it's very lucrative. I mean, tech workers make a lot of money. If you build a business, well, you can magnify that by 30, 40, 50 times, you know, what you can make in a lifetime as far as a career in technology if you own your business. But even if you just worked as a tech worker, you know, one of the most popular growing jobs today in the Canadian economy is, can anyone guess what that is? What's the top most high-paying job today in Canada, or for that matter, worldwide. Well, brain surgeon is more of a, it's almost like you're self-employed. But it's data scientist as a job. Like when you walk in, you go and report to a manager, a job, right? Those are data scientists. It's one of the fastest growing positions, because we all are gonna, when it comes to technology, the only one key thing that we rely on is data, right? Aggregating data, analyzing data, collecting data. It's a big, that's why it's called big data. And big data requires data scientists to be able to make sense of the data. So, any questions? I think I'm done, right? 20 minutes. Any questions?
So time for question and answers or any other ideas you
As
have.
you are trying to start your business, what kept you motivated to keep going business? You know that probably face dead ends almost everywhere.
Yeah, so in the beginning it was pretty hard. But I think to be honest with you, it's almost like you know how some people, they go to school and they realize that they're a great runner, right? And another person realizes, well, I really like to work with my hands, I'm a great mechanic, right? Well, I think, if you know that, and I knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. Remember, I worked in corporate America. I worked for some of the biggest corporations, New York, Boston, Dallas, but it was in my blood. Because I had already gotten the taste of one company that I built right out of college. And I said, yes, these companies are paying me a ton of money, but that's not what I want to do. I want to build, my own companies because I'm capable of it, right? So that was my driving motivation. But sometimes it is like you're either born a runner or you're born this. Sometimes you're born with it, right? And you have it in your blood and you want to go back, and that's what motivates you.
We have a couple more minutes.
I have a follow-up.
Sure.
So sometimes when you're pursuing a business or if you're pursuing an idea, sometimes there is a point where it's not worth it anymore, where it's a bit more uncomfortable. How would you find where to draw the line?
Well, so in our world, we call that fast track to failure, right? So that is a really good point. And an entrepreneur has to, not fall in love with the idea. And a lot of them do, and they lose their houses and whatever because they're just fanatic about it. And it's their baby. They created it, right? So, but the thing about true entrepreneurialism is to know when to hold up and when to fold up, right? And say, okay, you know what, great idea. And I've had one of those in my career where I said, no, great idea. I built a great business. It was working. And my investors and shareholders were shocked when I pulled them into a meeting and said, no, this is going to stop. You know why? Because there was a huge liability issues that we had not considered. It would have, in one situation, it would have brought us all down. And they respected me for that, even though they were not very happy because we had a multi-billion-dollar business that I wanted to close because, something happened that alerted me to say, oh, wait a minute here. This is something we never thought of this, right? So it's painful. I wrote a business plan for a $10 million company. That company was on its way to be a $10 million company. But no, I walked away from it.
But my question is that some people, there were so many famous stories about, entrepreneurs who fall into deep pitfalls, but somehow they're still able to take it right. What's the main indicator that lets you know when to stop?
Well, there's many indicators, obviously. There's the financial side of it. There's what we call, market validation. So you can get into market, things may look really good, but then you validate the market and you start to realize that, oh, wait a minute here, right? This is I cannot sell this piece of paper for $50 because nobody's willing to pay for it, right? That's market validation in a simple way. So there's many factors to that, right? There's no short answer. This is something, this is why an organization like this exists, right? Because you work with them, they're the experts, they will guide you, that's what mentorship is for, the experience. The two things that I always talk about, that you cannot just be born with, that's called, that you cannot have everybody employed at any time, it's instincts and experience, right? And you build those instincts and you build that experience over time. So you have to go to more experienced individuals to guide you through the journey, right? But you still have to be prepared that the mentor may say to you, look, you're barking up the wrong tree here. Not that they'll always be right, but Anything else? So we do have some positions. I'm not sure how many our managers are thinking about this summer, so if somebody's willing to spend a couple of months with us, is it 2 months?
Well, the internships are going to run from May 20th to June 17th. But if they are successful in their short-term placement, maybe they would want to come back to work with you.
Yeah,
So
that's what we want to find.
Yeah, so basically Simranjit, sorry, he served with you last year with Jonathan there at Iowa Tech. And he did a short-term 4.5-week practicum like all of you will be doing. And as you mentioned, like he was very impressive in that role. That wasn't the only feedback I received, by the way. I got feedback like that from many of last year's internships. And so this pool of students right here, we expect big things from them too, that they'll go and they'll be equally as impressive. But yeah, it was a great experience for him. So there we go.
Yeah.
But thank you.